find a comfortable seat on your mat. Legs can be crossed, or maybe you like to extend your legs in a straddle. Maybe you prefer to lay for this centering. So either way, just find a position where you will be completely comfortable and where you have room to breathe. And we'll just begin some slow, deep inhales and exhales. And today we'll try to work with the Ujjayi breath. So to achieve that breath, you actually try to constrict your throat slightly. If you think about if you were trying to fog a bathroom mirror and you make that sound, that's the kind of sound you should hear as the breath whispers up and down your throat. If you can, you will breathe in and out through the nose. Just listen to the breath whispering past your throat. Just allow that belly to soften and expand as you inhale and exhale. So just take this time to become present, fully present on your mat. Try to tune out the outside world. Try to leave anything that's been bugging you behind. It doesn't matter what you need to do after this. If you're planning to finally get that one room in your house tidied, or maybe clean out your garage, just put it aside. This hour is for you. Tune into your body. Just see how you feel this morning. You may be working with an injury or a limitation. And just be okay with that. Honor your body, honor where you showed up today. And just work within your own body's capabilities. This is your own personal yoga practice. I'm here just as a general guide. But please feel free to modify whenever you need to. I will offer several options as we move through today's practice. So just move through one or two more of these slow Ujjayi breaths.
It takes a crane to build a crane. It takes two floors to make a
And then just allow your breath to be natural without too much thought. We'll just begin by moving into the head and shoulders a little bit and the neck. So just allow your head to fall forward. Just letting the weight of your head stretch out the back of your neck. And then we'll begin to make some half circles. So as you inhale, take your chin over to one shoulder. As you exhale, pass your chin across your chest. Inhaling as chin comes to opposite shoulder. So use your own breath, making these half circles. Working into the neck and shoulder area. Try to keep your shoulders loose. And the next time the chin comes over to the right, we will pause there. Just note the stretch down the side of your neck. If you want to feel a little more stretch, you can actually take this left hand and thread it behind your back, bringing your fingertips towards your opposite waist. This will help pull down the shoulder. You'll feel a nice stretch in the neck. If you would like to feel a little deeper stretch, take your right fingertips and just rest them on the side of your head. And just add a little gentle pressure here. You never want to tug too hard on the neck. If you do have the right fingertips on your head, just go ahead and place them on the floor alongside you. Release this left arm and sweep it overhead here, finding a side stretch. So it's less about bending over, more about reaching along with this top arm and separating the ribs on this left side of the body. Send your breath to that left rib cage area. Just allowing it to expand with each inhale. Stretching out through the fingertips. So we'll make a slight adjustment so you change how you feel this stretch. We're actually just going to twist at the waist so that your torso and chest face your thigh. And reach forward through these fingertips. Should feel the stretch now more in that left upper back shoulder area. Breathe into that area. And then making your way up nice and tall. Use your right hand behind you to help keep the spine long. Bring your left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Sit up tall on an inhale. And as you exhale, begin to twist towards the back of your space. If it's okay in the neck, you will also look back. If that bothers your neck at all, just turn your head so your nose comes more to the front. And as we hold this twist, think about sitting yourself a little bit taller with each inhale and twisting a fraction more with each exhale. They're just micro movements. It will help you ease a little deeper into the twist. Take one more inhale breath. As you exhale, just release the twist, coming back to the center. And then once more, drop chin towards chest and begin to make those half circles with the head and neck. Inhaling as chin comes to one shoulder and exhaling as chin passes across chest. And the next time your chin comes over to the left side, we will pause there. Just note that stretch down the right side of your neck. Left fingertips can release to the floor alongside you, and maybe you like to stretch this right arm behind your back, reaching fingertips towards opposite waistline. Feeling a good stretch now in the right side of the neck, the shoulder area. For a little added stretch, gently place your left fingertips on the side of your head. Just add a little extra pressure here. And if you do have those left fingertips on the side of the head, just release them to the floor. Release right arm. And sweep it overhead, finding that side stretch. Feeling that separation in this right ribcage area. Breathing into that area, allowing full expansion with each inhale. And then twisting at the waist, so you face your thigh, reach forward through the fingertips. Feeling that stretch now in the right upper back shoulder area. And then sitting up nice and tall, bringing right hand to outside of left thigh, left hand behind you, propping you up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, begin to twist. towards the back of your space. Again, sitting a little taller with each inhale, twisting a hair more with each exhale, just working your way a little deeper into this spinal twist. Taking one more inhale breath. Exhale, release the twist. And I'm just going to turn on my mat a little bit here, but you can stay as you are. We'll come into bound angle. So I want you to try to sit forward on your sit bones, bringing the soles of your feet together and just letting your knees roll out to the side. So it's important initially to keep a straight spine. So if it helps, you can actually push your feet a little further forward. You can also use your hands behind you and kind of give yourself a little push to keep that spine nice and long. If you're very flexible in the hips, which I'm not, you may have your feet all the way back in here and still be very comfortable. So find that long spine. Take a few breaths here. And if it feels right, on your next exhale, you can actually begin to just round the spine, bringing head towards feet. And just take a few breaths here, letting gravity assist you. If you would like to try turtle, you need to make sure that your feet are further forward, as mine are right now, and you'll take your forearms and thread them underneath your legs, palms down on the mat. And perhaps even bringing your hands to the tops of your feet here on the insteps. Just an option, take it or leave it. On your next inhale, coming back up to a tall spine, we'll find a slight back bend here and a chest opener with seated fish. So if your feet are not all the way forward, go ahead and push them further forward, and then bring your hands behind you. And think about drawing shoulder blades together, which will open up the chest and create a slight back bend. If it's comfortable, you can look up, but looking straight ahead is your other option. Breathe into this chest area, enjoying this chest opener, back bend. And then whenever you're ready, just release the shoulders. We'll make our way onto hands and knees. So find a tabletop position. And as always, just make sure wrists, elbows, shoulders are in line, knees and hips are in line. Make a nice wide handprint on the mat. And we'll just move into the spine a little more with some cat dog or cat cow. So on your inhale, belly lowers, tailbone and chin tip up. As you exhale, rounding the back, tucking in chin and tailbone, pushing into hands and knees. Feel free to flow back and forth here with your own breath, inhaling into dog posture, exhaling into cat. Or you can begin to make this a little bit of a flow if you like. So as you exhale and round the back into cat, you would draw your hips towards your heels. And then as you begin your inhale, you can sweep your nose across the mat and then make your way into dog posture. Inhaling, exhale back into cat, inhale sweeping nose across the mat, coming up into that dog posture. So you pick, if this bothers your knees at all, just stick with the regular version. We'll just do a few more of these at your own pace. Take one more breath here. Inhale, finding dog posture. Exhale, round the back. And then come to a neutral spine. So So just moving the spine from side to side. Exhale, take your chin and your hips to the left. Kind of looking back towards your hips. Inhale through center. Exhale, go to the other side. So you're just making a little C curve with the spine, side to side, moving with the breath. Inhaling as you pass through a straight spine. Exhaling as you curve the spine. So just take it once more either side. And then pause in the center. Take your hands just slightly further forward off your shoulders. Bring toes together, knees a little wider apart. And sink your hips back, finding child's pose. So ideally you would just rest your forehead on the mat. If you like to work with yoga blocks, you can actually place a yoga block under your forehead, or maybe make a fist with one of your hands and rest your head on your fist. So I'm going to offer up a spinal twist as we pause here in child's pose. If you would like to add that twist, we're going to add a thread the needle arms. So you keep your left palm grounded and turn your right hand palm up. You're going to take this arm and thread it onto the left, pushing your fingertips all the way over to the left. And if you can, again, coming down onto the shoulder, resting head on the mat. If you need more support for the neck, just bring your left arm in and make a fist. You can still enjoy the twist, the stretch through the shoulder area. So you pick. Yoga's not about forcing or making your body do something that it's not ready for, that doesn't feel right. So always be in tune with your body, and always make sure that you're never in pain and you can breathe slowly, deeply, evenly. So just bring that arm out and stretch it back forward. Take a breath here in child's pose. And then we'll twist the other way. So keeping right palm grounded, flip left palm up. Go ahead and thread that arm, push away through the fingertips, coming down onto the shoulder, resting head on the mat, or making a fist with your right hand. Breathe into the area where you feel most sensation. It is just a visual, but if you think about sending your breath to a certain area, you send energy there, and it just helps work a little deeper into the posture. Releasing this arm, stretch both arms forward. Take one more breath in child's pose. And then just come back up onto your hands and knees. Bring your knees back parallel. Make sure you have a nice wide stable handprint and hands a little forward of the shoulders. Hook your toes under, and we're preparing for downward facing dog. So you're going to begin to lift up your hips and push into your hands so that your chest pushes back towards your thighs, and push your heels down towards the mat. It is not the goal to get your heels down to the mat. Just push them in that general direction. If legs are tight, especially in the hamstring area, or low back is tight, bend your knees. So some small adjustments here to help us maintain this posture. Tip your tailbone up and back as we did with the dog posture earlier. And then taking your attention to your shoulder blades, draw them down your back and wrap them forward. This will turn your armpits just kind of a hair towards one another. This all helps to keep a straight spine and support the back as we hold this downward dog. So feel free to just hold here, enjoying the stretch. Or if you prefer a little more movement, come up onto the toes. And just pedal the feet, pushing one heel, then the other alternately down into the mat. At the same time, try to push into the opposite palm of the hand. And then just coming to stillness, enjoying this downward dog for 1 or 2 more breaths. We'll slowly begin to walk the feet forward, landing in a forward fold towards the front of your mat. So we'll come into ragdoll today. Keep the knees soft. Hands can actually just fall and rest against the floor, or you can grab opposite elbows. Just make sure that the upper body is kind of loose here. You can sway side to side or back and forth, and just let head and neck hang loose. This gives the shoulders a good break after we were holding that downward dog posture. If you're getting dizzy at all, or you have glaucoma or high blood pressure, your option would be right here in jackknife. So anytime we fold forward, if you do have issues that prohibit you folding forward, this is your option right here, with head and heart at the same level, keeping chest parallel to your mat. So if you are enjoying ragdoll, just go for another breath or two, and then we will all make our way into that jackknife position. So bringing hands to shins or thighs, inhaling, come about halfway up so that your chest is parallel to the mat. The crown of your head should be pointing straight forward. And I want you to take your shoulder blades and draw them back, pulling your shoulders away from your ears. You can softly bend the knees if necessary. Never should lock out the knees anyway. You should be feeling a good stretch in the glutes and the hamstrings right now. So we'll do a little bit of a flow between jackknife and forward fold. So inhale as you hold jackknife, and exhale, just fold forward. Inhaling, make your way back to jackknife. Exhale, fold. Just continue a couple more times here, using your own breath to guide you. Let's just do one more. The next time you find yourself in a forward fold, pause for a moment, and then inhaling, sweeping arms out and up. Come past your extended mountain and draw hands to heart. And just pause for a moment here. Again, just check in with yourself, see how it feels now that we're standing. So I'm going to turn on my mat. You can turn with me or stay facing the direction you're at. Either way, you will take a wide stance. So your feet, if you're facing the long edge of your mat, will be like this. If you're facing the short end, you'll be stepping outside of your mat. We'll just come into some sun breaths here. Inhaling, reach up, bringing palms together. Exhale, turn palms out and push hands down. Inhaling, sweep arms up. Exhale, palms down. Go with the rhythm of your own breath. Create a little bit of a resistance here, pushing with your own arms. My heater just kicked in, so hopefully it doesn't drown out the vocals. Can get pretty loud. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, bringing the arms down, you're going to interlace your fingers. So I'm going to turn around just to show you. Interlace your fingers and then push down with your knuckles. And then as we start to fold forward, you will just lift your hands away from your body. Now, if you don't like the yoga mudra arms, just bring hands to thighs, excuse me. Find a nice wide stance, either hands to thighs or yoga mudra arms, pushing down through the knuckles. Inhale here. And as you exhale, begin to fold forward. Pausing when you are parallel with the mat. Feel a pretty good stretch again down in the glutes, the back of the legs, maybe bending the knees slightly. This may be as far as you go. If you would like to go a little further, you are going to continue to fold forward, lifting hands away from the body. Hands may point all the way up
towards the ceiling, or they may lift an inch off your back. Either way, you're still working. You should not be in pain. Go with what feels right to you. And again, if you would prefer hands to be just on your thighs, then that's where they'll be. Take a few breaths here. And then slowly release your hands, bringing them down to the mat. I'm going to turn here to give you a little bit of a side view. You can stay here, kind of parallel to the floor. Bring your fingertips fairly far forward. And just rock back and forth here. If your hamstrings are a little looser, your low back is okay with it, you can bring your hands in further and just begin to round the spine, letting your head come a little closer to the mat. You also have the option of grabbing hold of the back of your legs and just pulling yourself a little deeper into this fold. These are all just options, so just go with what feels right to you. Breathing into those areas of deep sensation. So from here, we'll add a twist. If you are folded forward, just bring your right hand to the center of the mat. Inhaling, keeping your hips level and twisting from the waist up. Open your left arm and enjoy the twist. If you were parallel to the floor here, you can keep your hand where it is, or maybe even reach across to the opposite thigh and find the twist that way. So there are plenty options. Take another breath here as you exhale. Bring your left hand down, either place it where the right one was, or maybe you're reaching over to the opposite thigh. Keeping hips level, inhale, open, finding that twist. Twist should come from the waist up, and you should twist with a straight spine. So if you are rounding your back to reach forward, take this option. It's better to have correct body alignment than to force yourself into something that you think you should be doing. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, bringing hand down. Inhale, we'll slowly make our way up, reaching the arms out, shining out in a 5-pointed star. May feel a little dizzy if you were folded all the way forward. And then we'll sink down, finding goddess pose. If there are any men following along with this, you can call this warrior squat. So just hang out here for a few breaths. Inhale, come up nice and tall. One more time, shine bright, and then bring your arms down. So we'll move through our standing postures right here. So turn your both sets of toes forward initially, and then we'll pivot and turn the left toes to face the left. Your hips will stay facing forward. They are level. Torso is upright. Sinking into your front leg, finding warrior two. So just make sure that your stance is wide enough that your knee is not protruding beyond your toe. Bring arms to shoulder height. And you can continue to look straight forward or look out towards this left hand. So this is the more passive go with the flow warrior. Virabhadrasana 2. Lowering your back arm, flick your front palm, keeping everything from the waist down as it is. Just reach back. Coming into peaceful warrior. This is a side bend, so you should feel a nice stretch in this rib cage on the left. And then just begin to straighten your front leg. Now we are in reverse triangle. And from here we will work into Trikonasana or triangle pose. So keep both legs straight. Bring arms to shoulder height. Keep front knees soft and lean forward till you can't reach anymore. And then just windmill your arms, bringing the fingers from floor to ceiling, finding triangle. One of the main things in triangle is to avoid this front shoulder leaning forward. You want to stay nice and open in the chest. If that means you have to be a little further up, then so be it, that's okay. It's not necessary to reach down to the floor. And slowly making your way back up, bending the front leg, finding warrior two. So you might want to walk this front foot behind you a little bit, or pivot on the back foot, sinking down, finding a lunging warrior one. And from here, just slowly lower the back knee and reach your arms up. As you hold this posture, you want to think about tucking your tailbone in. This is going to really kick in this psoas muscle, the hip flexor on the right leg, and push into your left heel as if you're trying to push the foot away. It's not going to move, and that's the general feeling you want. And then from here, just bringing hands down, bring your hands to either side of the front foot, and extend your back leg long. So now we're in a runner's lunge. Bring your right hand to the inside of your left foot, and as you inhale, just open up to a twist again. Try to keep a flat spine. Twist from the waist up. And then bringing hand down. Step your back foot in just a little bit and see if you can push that heel down. Straighten your front leg, making your way into standing runner. Again, option, stay right here, parallel to the mat with hands on thighs, or lower down, allowing head to come towards knee or shin. Enjoying this hamstring stretch. And from here, we're going to walk to the other side, and we're actually going to do everything in reverse, assuming I remember exactly what I did here. So just kind of pivot on your heels, come through a wide angle posture, and then make your way over to standing runner on the other side. So both legs should be straight, both sets of toes are kind of pointing forward. Fingertips are down, or you can have, hands on your thighs. And from here, we'll make our way into runner's lunge. So bending the front knee, step your left leg a little further back, finding a runner's lunge. Left hand to inside of right foot. Inhale, find a twist. Again, try to make sure your spine is straight. You want to avoid this kind of thing. So if you need to come up onto the fingertips, then do that. Take one more breath, bringing hand back down, and just lower your back knee, and begin to come on up to a low lunge here, pushing into your right heel. This toe can stay hooked, or you can release the toe, but you want to tuck your tailbone forward. You'll feel this hip flexor muscle kind of engage. Well, here's the tricky part. If you can, if you need to assist yourself with your arms, then please do so. But if you can, just hook your back toes. Do make sure you have a little width between your feet, that you're not standing on a balance beam. And then just begin to straighten that back leg. Coming back up into this lunging warrior one. And then setting your back heel. Opening up to warrior two. So right toes are facing the right side of the room, left toes are facing the front. And from here, coming into triangle, straightening that front leg, and just bringing your arms floor to ceiling, making sure this left shoulder stays up and back. You can look up for more challenge, or keep the gaze straight ahead, or look towards the floor. However you are most comfortable. And then from here, you're going to pull yourself up, keeping the legs straight, finding reverse triangle. Breathe into this right rib cage area. And begin to bend front knee, coming into peaceful warrior. And then slowly bringing your arms back to shoulder height. Ta-da! Back in warrior two. And from here, simply straighten the front legs. Bring both sets of toes forward. Maybe give yourself a little shake. We'll step together. And then we'll find the front of our mat here. Make sure you're standing at the front and you've got most of the mat behind you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. From here, we'll step back, finding a plank. And then simply lower the knees. And then lower yourself down onto the mat. So we will be coming into crocodile. It is a resting pose. So bring your arms in front of you and stack the forearms. So hopefully you can still see here. And as you fold down, you'll rest your forehead on those stacked forearms, or your option is to rest the forehead on the mat. Make sure the tops of your feet are down and your feet are about mat width apart. And then just find your breath here. Just come into some slow, deep breaths. This is a very open posture. Allows free movement of the diaphragm, so you should be able to breathe slowly here and fully. If you want, you can actually turn your legs. I don't care for this, but another option is to turn your legs so the heels are in, the toes are out. Otherwise, if that doesn't work in your hips, just keep the tops of your feet down. And then slowly just begin to bring your feet together. And we will work with a couple of back bends here. We'll begin with boat pose. So you want to bring your forehead down to the mat and bring your arms behind you, so palms face down. Maybe your arms are angled out just slightly, palms are on the mat, forehead is down, feet are down. So before we begin the posture, I want you to think about your tailbone, push it down into the mat. This will protect your low back. As you inhale, just begin to lift up your head and shoulders. Breathing into the belly, you may rise and fall with the breath a little bit. If you would like to add to the posture, you can pick up your arms, maybe raising your hands an inch or two off the floor. And finally, if you want, you can also lift the toes. The important thing here is you should be able to breathe fully. Maybe rock back and forth a little bit with the breath, and you should be pushing your tailbone down into the floor. This is a great strengthener for the back. Try to take one more breath if you can. And then slowly release. Just turn your head to one side. Let the shoulders fall forward. Maybe even bend your knees here. And just allow the feet to kind of drop from side to side, creating a little windshield wiper effect with the legs. So we'll try to work with one more back bend. If you did enjoy boat, you can feel free to do that posture one more time. Or I am going to offer up bow pose. So it begins the same way. You would tuck your pelvis, pushing tailbone into the mat, but this time you would bend your knees. Now this is going to require you to be able to reach back and either grab the back of your yoga pants or maybe just grab your ankles. Again, just to make sure the tailbone is pushing down into the mat. Your legs and knees will stay down. It's not about lifting the knees up. Keep your knees down. And then as you push your feet away, your arms will act like cables and your head and shoulders will pull up off the mat. Another option is to try half bow. So you would just keep hold of one leg and extend the other arm and leg out. Take a few breaths there and then switch sides. Or you can be in boat pose. So again, plenty options. Play with it, do what feels right. Wherever you are, try to take one more breath. Slowly release. Again, if you can, turn your head to the opposite side and maybe give the low back some relief by just windshield wipering the feet. And then lowering your legs. Bring your hands to either side of the rib cage and slowly push up onto your hands and knees. We will be coming into child's pose. Take your time. We just did some back bends, so now we're doing the counter stretch here by rounding the back. Back might feel a little bit stiff, so take your time. And as head comes down towards the mat, you can release your arms behind you, palms up, bringing them next to your feet, and just let the shoulders fall forward for a more resting version of child's pose. And then slowly coming on up to a straight spine, perhaps briefly sitting on your heels. We'll find a seat on our mat. Make sure you have some mat behind you because we will be rolling back. You can put your feet flat on the floor, knees are bent. If you need assistance, hold on the back of your thighs, otherwise just slowly roll down. And once you do make it down to the mat, maybe take a full body stretch here. And then sweep your arms down by your side. Keep your palms down and kind of wedge your thumbs just underneath your glutes. And bring your knees in here, feet flat on the mat, and then draw your knees in. We'll just work the core a little bit with some water wheels. So stretch your legs up straight, and as you exhale, slowly just lower the legs. Inhale, bring knees in, extend legs up. So you're always exhaling as you lower, and you only go to the point where you can keep low back connected with mat. Once you feel that low back coming up, draw your knees in and reach legs up. So exhaling, lower legs. Inhaling, draw knees in and up. Just work with your own breath here. Go at your own pace. Do a couple more of these. Challenge yourself if you can to go slow. And the next time you find your knees drawing in, just gather them to your chest, hug them in, and just kind of rock gently from side to side. And then coming to stillness, extend legs straight up, coming into hip stand. Maybe just take a moment to point and flex your feet, circle the ankles. Perhaps even bringing arms straight up. Just give everything a shape. Letting wrists and ankles be loose. This is symbolic of shaking things off, letting things go, getting rid of anything you no longer need. And then just coming to stillness. Just begin to bend your legs, and if you can, you'll grab the insteps of your feet. If that's not possible, just hold on to your shins, or maybe just drape your arms over the backs of your thighs and interlace your fingers. Either way, you want to draw knees towards armpits, coming into blissful or happy baby. And from here, you can just gently play around, rocking from side to side. Or if you would like more work for the hamstrings, bending and straightening your legs, coming into a straddle. You decide whatever your body is asking for. And whenever you're ready, just letting go of your feet, extend them straight up one more time, and then bend your legs, bringing feet flat on the mat. So we'll be working with reclining pigeon. So keep your right foot grounded, pick up your left foot, and just bring the left ankle just below the right knee. You want to engage the core so lower back connects to the mat, and then take your left hand and gently push this right knee away. Your left knee, excuse me. So if you're enjoying the stretch as is, feel free to stay here. If you would like to work a little deeper into the hip area, you will pick up the right foot and begin to draw that knee in, feeling a pretty good bullseye of sensation in this left hip. Maybe taking your left hand, thread it through the triangle, and interlace your fingers, either just below the right knee, or maybe hold behind the thigh. Just take a moment to draw your knee in and release a few times. And whenever you're ready, just draw it in and hold. Breathe into that bullseye of sensation in the left hip. And then whenever you're ready, just let go of this right leg. Bring your right foot back down to the mat. Just cross your left knee over the right, kind of closing the gap between your knees. Just take a moment here to shift your hips an inch or two towards the left. And then let your knees drop over, across and down to the right side. Arms can be out at shoulder height. And if lower back is tight, you probably want to keep knee and hip level with one another. If you do have more flexibility in your low back, you can actually take your right hand and just add a little extra weight here to gently ease your knees closer to the floor. Just working a little deeper into the spinal twist. And gaze can be straight up at the ceiling, or you can turn your head and look out towards this left hand. Slowly make your way onto your back, level off your hips, bring both feet down. Just take a moment here to allow the knees to drop gently from side to side. And then just bringing your legs to stillness, keeping the left foot grounded. Bring right ankle just below left knee. Again, take a moment to engage the core so low back connects with the mat. Taking right hand, just gently ease this right knee a little further away. And just feel free to enjoy the stretch as is, or if you would like to work a little deeper into that right hip area, just begin to pick up this left leg, drawing it towards you. Taking right hand, thread it onto the triangle. And again, interlace your fingers either on top of the shin or behind the thigh. Just making sure that head and shoulders return to the mat. Again, just take a few moments here to draw this knee in and release. Do this a few times until you're ready to hold the stretch. Draw your knee in. If you can, at the same time, use your right elbow to push that right knee away as you draw the left knee in. If you can do that, you're going to feel a pretty good bullseye of sensation in the right hip. Send your breath there, encouraging that area to release. And then letting go of this left leg, bring your foot down to the mat and just cross your right leg over, closing the gap between the knees. Take a moment to shift your hips an inch or two to the right, and then allow your knees to fall over, across and down to the left. Okay, and you have the option to keep knee and hip at the same height, or maybe take this left hand and just encourage your knees closer to the mat. Gaze can be straight up at the ceiling or out towards your right hand. One more inhale breath here. Exhale and begin to roll onto your back. Again, uncross your legs, level off the hips. And if it feels good, just windshield wiper your knees once more from side to side, giving a little release to the low back. And slowly bringing your knees to stillness. Extend your legs long. Cross your left leg over the right. And then you need to draw your legs in, keeping those ankles crossed. And if you can, you'll grab the tops of your feet with your hands and kind of pull your feet towards your glutes. So we're working into embryo pose. So you can stay right here, or if you want, you can begin to curl up into a little ball by lifting head and shoulders and tailbone off the mat. Take one more breath. And just release. Remember which foot was on top. Extend arms and legs nice and long. And then bring your right ankle on top of the left. Again, bending your legs, sweeping arms down. Try to grab tops of your feet. Pull them towards your glutes. And if you want, curl up into a little ball. And then extend nice and long, one more full body stretch as we prepare for Shavasana. So feel free to just sweep your arms down by your sides and just let arms and legs roll out to the side. If you feel that you need more support for your low back, just bend your legs, bringing feet flat on the mat. Just allow your knees to kind of draw in and support one another. This will give the low back more support, allowing you to relax. Or maybe you have space to draw your mat up against a wall. Just elevate your legs, resting them against the wall. Plenty options. Maybe you're more comfortable laying on one side, or maybe in a seated position. So just find the position that feels just right to you. And then just begin to check in with yourself one more time. Where can you soften? Where can you relax? What can you let go? Maybe take a deep breath and tighten all your muscles, shrug your shoulders up, make a fist, and then as you exhale, just let everything go. Perhaps do that one more time. Inhaling, squeeze your fist, squeeze your face, shrug your shoulders, and then just let it all go. And then paying attention to where you feel the support of the floor beneath you. Just surrender into the support of the earth. Allow it to hold you up and just fully let everything go. Relax, release. And just let your breath come naturally without too much thought. And take the next couple of minutes just to fully relax. Just begin to make some small movements, bringing your attention back to the present moment. Just taking in the sounds of the room and noticing how the air feels on your skin. Perhaps if it feels good, just rolling onto one side.
And taking a few breaths there. And taking your time whenever you're ready, just transition to a seated position. And then we'll just finish by taking an inhale breath, reaching arms out and up, gather all that positive energy we've created and draw it to heart center. Maybe send it out to someone who needs it this morning. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. The light in me honors the light in all of you. Namaste.